Actually, it looks better. I should look at it from this side because there's stones on that side of the board.
It's a different device that records videos that aren't cameras.
Well, maybe, I don't know. Let's not get into that.
Okay.
All right, so anyway, tonight we're talking about the middle, meaning the middle game.
Okay.
And there's gonna be a plot twist that I don't think you guys may, if you didn't, especially if you didn't read the email carefully, you're not aware of.
Oh.
I am excited for that part.
Yeah. I don't know
Okay,
what this
so
is.
you know, Kyle's the only one left in the dark.
Sweet.
It would seem. We're gonna do 4 problems from a Dawn level middle game problem book. Mm-hmm. And specifically these 4 problems, what's interesting about them is that I also put them into the elf robot. And elf had 4 different answers than what the humans gave in the book.
Is this the surprise?
That's the plot twist.
Had different answers 4 times, or had 4 different answers on one time?
So each problem, its preferred move was not the answer in the book.
Okay, 4 times of a
That's
different
right.
answer.
One of the problems, its second favorite answer was the human answer.
Okay.
The other problems, the human moves weren't even in the top.
You know when you said that the answer was Tanuki? That might happen.
Well, this is actually the board where the elf's second favorite answer was the human answer.
Okay.
So first, you guys stared at this problem for a real long time.
We did that on a lot
Tell
of
me
these.
about it. Tell me about it. What's going on?
Well, the lower left corner seems to be secure.
Okay. Yes.
Yep.
Sure.
This group is kind of thin.
Which group?
The white group here.
Sure. We have a white stick there.
Yeah, there's a little oddness there. It's unsettled in the corner, but on the right side, it's all white so far. Of course, there's nothing there really, right?
So, I don't know. This feels like where all the action is.
Yeah. It's definitely where all the stones are.
Yep.
And
But
we have
why
2
should there
weakish
be-
groups for white
Yeah.
and a weakish group for black. So
one of the
your
moves-
attention.
One of the moves we considered was like peeping here to sort of like mitigate the weakness and also like force them to connect.
Okay. What does the peep help you do?
I guess we're trying to reinforce this from being split somehow from, I don't know.
Yeah, we were afraid of like this move.
If white plays there, where do you play?
Probably somewhere like here.
Yeah, here or even here if you just want to get out. So that move doesn't really do much. It just prevents you from making eyes, but you're already out. You're out further and faster than either of the white groups. So this actually isn't a very big concern right now.
Okay.
If all this was white on the outside, you had no place to go.
Yeah.
You want the shape point. You want the eyes.
Okay.
But in this case, no. This should not cause you to fret very much.
So that black group there is kind of thin looking, kind of skimpy, but he's got lots of room to grow.
We're out. Let's just say that we're out.
Okay.
I mean, scarier things for you to consider, right? This is the type of move you have to be more
Yes.
Interesting.
worried about,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Now, in this case, this doesn't work for white, right? This is too strong of a formation to actually cut, and white is too weak on both sides. But we change a few more stones. We look at these types of cuts that are much more severe. This is asking to cut. If we're already out, we're not scared of people asking us, can they cut us? So, not a concern. What else you got?
Coming down.
I kind of wanted to Tanuki here
Okay, why?
because I thought
That's a big point.
It was in like response to like stress here because I was just saying like, oh, we could like lean here, and then if white like moved in this direction, then we'd already have a stone there.
Okay.
So, but we've already like determined that this is not really a threat.
This side of the board right now is not that interesting.
Okay.
It might become interesting later, but it's not as interesting as
There. Yeah.
this sort of stuff.
What about something around here or something to try to pressure this group?
This is an idea. Sometimes you want to take profit while you're attacking, and this would be a
Yeah.
way to do it.
I'm
But
not sure
what
which
move to
one.
take profit?
I don't know.
Okay.
Because I don't think the cap would be great.
The problem with the cap is it doesn't quite work well enough.
Yeah.
These 2 large jumps is actually really bad
Okay.
because you will get cut. right? There's just too many places for white to attach and poke through over. If white pokes through this way and gets you stronger over here, and then if white gets stronger over here as well, even just something as blunt and as kind of dumb as this type of sequence, white's now going to cut through over here,
Oh.
right? So having these two, now that's the dumbest sequence that I can come up with, right? I'm sure there's plenty of other cutting sequences, but having two large knights that are loosely connected and you're
Yeah.
expecting to be able to net something in, you've train wrecked. This is not a shape and go to accomplish that, to net anything in. This is a shape sometimes, right? You guys, two small knights are good at netting things, two large knights not so good,
Okay.
too thin.
Did we maybe make a move over here so we have like something
Something to run to,
Yeah.
it's possible.
I was thinking
What?
a little bit of that, but I thought as soon as black starts playing down there, white responds, and so you're maybe giving yourself a white wall to run into.
Yeah, white gets a move too, right?
Yeah.
So, but it's a big move. Like first person to play over there is still big. There's still big moves over there. So
But not necessarily playing, that might be the wrong reason for playing down there on the side.
I don't know. I keep feeling like there's something urgent here that we can do, but I can't figure it out at all.
all right. Well, if you're a human, and I
Yeah.
presume you all are, we think of Go middle game often in terms of urgent moves versus big moves. This is a thing we've thought about before. And this position, this type of position, is urgent because we have 3 weak groups right next to each other.
Yeah.
Right? That is like a definitive, urgent, typical situation. 3 weak groups all close together. So in the human's mind, we have to do something to make ourselves stronger and simultaneously make our opponents weaker. That is bigger than any big move right now.
Cut.
Cutting doesn't always make ourselves stronger. In fact, it makes ourselves weaker often. And the human move in the book, and this is Elf's second favorite move. Okay, so this is like the one board that Elf almost agreed with. And again, I only ran it for 100,000 some odd variations. So I didn't run it forever. So if you guys have big, powerful computers at home, you can go and see what happens at 500,000 variations or a million variations. But for at least 100,000 variations, this was Elf's second favorite choice. And so, say some nice things about this move. What are some nice things about this move?
It doesn't kill white, but
It's not a nice thing. That's a terrible thing.
It puts pressure on white.
Stress
Yes.
Good. It puts a lot of pressure on white's eye space,
Yeah.
specifically. And what else?
It helps develop a little bit of black's, like necessarily ice space per se, but it gives us
Gets them out.
more space and more options.
It gives us a lot more strength.
Yeah.
Like the difference in strength between our group now and before is pretty substantial. We're actually really hard to attack, just with the addition of this one move. And so this move doesn't really gain us much in terms of points. It doesn't really take any points away. All it does is make ourselves stronger and our opponent weaker. And that's why we call it an urgent move versus a big move. It's actually not worth many points. However, you guys were thinking, oh, maybe black can develop something over here. Look how strong black is, right? That means, we can do whatever we want over here and not care. Well, again, one of the nice things about a move like this is you're actually guiding white into that position where you're already strong. So if white just blindly runs out, right, let's say this is a terrible way to run, but let's be
imagine.
very optimistic, right? You can see, oh, you're just causing white to flow in this area. You're already strong. That's great. White won't do that, of course. White will probably jump out, but the idea is still the same, right? You can actually continue even leaning on white. And with this stone here, you're probably strong enough to hane. And I just always say probably. And start forcing white to, maybe play a shape move, or if white keeps extending, you might say, but wait, I'm only getting this middle, which is not worth anything because white can just reduce this, and look at all the points white's getting. Well, no, you're staying ahead of white, and number 2, you're strong here, right? So you can just come in whenever you're done and just take away these points anyway. White really didn't get much. You actually built something, if white just decides to take off and run. So this is the human approach. All right, make yourself stronger, make your opponent weaker, and reap the benefits somewhere down the line.
But Elf disagrees.
Elf liked that as a second favorite move.
Okay. We're not.
Elf's favorite move?
Okay. That's gonna be a lot of generic game then.
And Elf really likes, finding time early on to make all these exchanges and Tanukis, and really not define any shape, right? Elf very much likes to not define shapes yet, which is amazing considering we just have a very typical, clear example of weak group versus weak group versus weak group. Let's just make our group stronger. That should be a super easy human problem. And Elf's looking at that and going, well, I can't really be hurt yet, so...
Was that maybe the key right there? Elf figures, well, that weak black group can't really be helped or hurt much yet.
I don't know how Elf thinks inside.
Elf knows if it does this move, it has a slightly higher chance of winning the game.
That's what Elf calculates.
Yeah,
right?
because it has a slightly higher points or whatever.
And
So-
Either that black group's defendable or there's something
It
worth
doesn't
more.
think like that. It just thinks this has a higher percentage.
Elf is very interested in thinking, the whole board. Let's make a little bit of everything on the whole board, and then we'll figure out what we're doing for each any of these shapes. Very rarely does Elf play a lot of moves in any one area, right? It kind of refuses to do so. It
Kind of like AlphaGo in that way.
It's probably even more severe than AlphaGo in that way.
Yeah.
AlphaGo likes Tanuki as well. I think Elf is particularly happy to Tanuki.
Isn't the only difference like training time for the two that networks?
No, we're not answering these questions. The short answer is no, definitely not.
Fair.
But yeah, definitely not. Anyway, that's the Elf move, and
Okay.
you can see if White, let's say, plays this sort of move. I think I put this position. I think Elf does like to actually come back here anyway.
Okay.
I can't remember if actually no. I think it likes to play this out, and then eventually after some number of moves, it will come back here. But it does sort of like to establish something over here first, and it's not too hard to understand why. Again, approaching a corner is always big, and you have a weak group, and so if Elf can make something solid over here, and you have solid over here, and you have just one group to manage, well, you can always manage it, right? You can always you have opponents weak. You have only one thing that your opponent can attack. That's always manageable, right? As long as your opponent only has one thing to go after, you're fine. And so that's kind of Elf's personality, right? I'm fine.
Okay.
I'll just go take more big stuff. Elf likes big stuff. I don't really advise you to play this in your game. I'm just pointing out to you because, often you'll have really strong humans and professionals say, this is the only move, right? You're weak here, your opponent's weak here, but the robots, man, they have this other whole.
Well, the robots are
gun.
ungodly.
Like 40 chess.
There's something. So again, if you're a human, let's say this is the correct answer.
Okay.
But-
If you're a superhuman, this is
But,
correct.
there is this whole other level to go. Well, here's this other thing, right? When we have these super strong robots play each other, and even different versions of the same AI, right? They often disagree with each other, right? And this is maybe the encouraging thing. Like the build that you have of your AI plays very different than the other build of the same AI. And so, as
That's
still,
slightly encouraging.
it is encouraging, isn't it? Like,
It's still discouraging that they're like, just jump into the 3-3 point. I'm like, that doesn't feel good. And they're like, we all agree on this.
well, sort of. It is encouraging in the sense the jury still feels like it's out, right? Like they haven't
I
solved
hope
the game.
there's still more to the game. Yeah.
Well, when you have the robots disagreeing still,
yeah, it helps that.
That's interesting.
Not that they're all playing the same opening over and over.
All right.
Let's go.
Another problem. This one, fairly divergent in terms of opinion between the robot and the book.
Fairly different.
They had very different ideas of.
Are there any
Of how it
points of correspondence?
I don't know.
They resulted with a couple similar concepts, but just executed in very different ways.
Okay.
So tell me about this board.
So we have something that we'd like to develop here that feels like it needs one more move to really make it nice. Something like that. And then we have this over here that feels incredibly weak. So those are like the two things that we thought were interesting.
Yeah.
Other than that, I mean, like white's very fine here. This is open for black, and this is fine for white. Anybody else have anything else?
Well, here,
I'm sort of thinking like that top area there, it's kind of undefined, and white would very much like to get another move in there.
I feel like that's
Do we
the
want
AI
to beat
type.
him out?
okay.
But-
So big move versus urgent move kind of
Well,
question.
it may be urgent for white, but it's, as long as black doesn't respond in there, white still got a chance. But if black does respond in there, does white have a
Let's call it a big
bigger
move.
chance?
I think that's a big move.
Yeah.
If it's,
Big move,
if it's only
okay.
urgent for one person, that's,
Well, the other thing we're
not
considering
really
is like the lower left corner there. You got 3 stones, maybe a fourth with them, but you got, looks like 3 stones are gonna have a little trouble finding a home.
okay.
Yeah.
So on the last board, black was winning the game. Like, that was a good position for black.
Okay.
On this board, how do you feel as black?
This is great, but this is kind of like something we already have to manage, which feels weird.
So if you manage it, you feel like you can pull ahead?
Well, I feel
I'm
like we have
guessing
to
the
manage
answer
it.
is no in this case.
Yeah,
You're asking
so
for
here's the
questions.
hint, right? Elf does not like the position of black. I don't quite, I think it's like 70-30 or something. It's like,
Okay.
Okay.
like,
Which I guess is not the worst.
Elf is very temperamental. You shouldn't listen to Elf percentages, that closely, especially if they're not 90-10.
Fair.
90-10 it has a fair point, but anything before that is like the wind.
So some of the moves we considered were like doing a shoulder hit here,
Yeah.
and then kind of like trying to sort of prevent White from doing a 2-space extension, and then like your cutting point. And then another option we were thinking about was an extension up here, and then there's also that move, yeah.
I'm guessing these aren't severe enough.
I like this one.
I like
Here.
the what is it called?
You guys
Shoulder
talk for a
hit
second.
too.
I'm gonna check my account or something.
Like, I think we all agreed that we like this move, or at least how it looks. But
I think
with him
we-
saying we're behind, I don't know what we can do.
I like the idea of leaning on these white stones
Yeah.
one way or the other, over from this direction or this
right.
direction,
There we
and
go.
hoping to build
They're
up
not-
something
they're not
there.
gonna-
All right, this one was on me.
Wait, is it wrong?
Yeah, I put this. So I set it up. That was there.
So you just take the move that we like and delete it from the board.
Yes.
It's definitely worse now.
Because you looked at the move and I was like, oh yeah, that's a pretty cool move. Yeah, good job.
Good job, guys.
No, but that's there.
So I guess like
Now we gotta realize.
we can still do that.
That feels
or we
so
can
sad.
just like, jump out here.
I think I haven't put it into the computer, but I think if this stone was there and you played your move, I think that's actually a really good move.
Okay. Kick him
You did it, guys. Yeah.
I think that's a solid move.
Credit.
Give him credit because he was.
And if we look at this move, this is very close to the wall,
Yeah.
especially to have it close to the wall with an immediate defect, right? And so this feels very narrow.
Yeah, but with that sequence, it seems to me that black is maybe making a little bit of a gain towards actually having some life in there.
Well, that's what black's trying to do, right?
Yeah, and so I would think that that's something worth looking at, but.
All right, so cap up there. It's a little,
plus or minus space.
it's a little optimistic.
We're gonna have to run back.
Ooh, touch it, start fighting. Touch it. Fondle that fish.
It's like a pike place.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, we're giving up fourth light.
Because white has a free peep whenever. Okay, you didn't do horrible, but
Try.
still losing position for black. All right. Well, first, here, let's talk what the book says.
Okay.
And again, what I partially wanted to look up this problem because I was doing these problems like myself. Mm-hmm. And actually, the story is so my 2-year-old sometimes doesn't want to go to sleep.
Okay. So you read Go books?
Kinda actually. So we play this game. The game is okay. He doesn't have to go to sleep, but he has to stay in his room.
Okay.
And so I have to guard the door. And so I have my Go book and I'm doing my Go problems while he's trying all various ways to escape the room. And it's
It's exciting.
comedy ensues for about half an hour until I lose my patience and just lock on his room. But anyway, I was doing this problem and the book said, here.
Nice.
Awesome.
And then it even gave a follow-up sequence. It said, well, you expect white to play here.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we attack white from this way. And we push white towards the thickness.
Okay.
There's a couple problems with this. And there's problems with this because, A, we still have a defect here.
Okay.
This group for white isn't that hard to manage. Like, are you going to connect right now?
I mean, it would be really bad not to, right?
Probably. I think white can, play either something like this or block on either side. Maybe even as strong enough to just Tanuki as is. But black was really left with nothing, and we actually helped white gain points.
Okay.
So what black got to keep Sente, and we got a little bit stronger. But we really this is not an exchange we're happy about making, right? This move should not be worth all these points.
Yeah,
So what you
absolutely
thought
desperate.
about with the book then too? Did you think that while you were going over the problem, or?
I actually, so I don't remember what I gave as my answer. I just remember turning the page and look at the human answer and went, that's bullshit.
Okay. Okay.
I was like, that's a terrible result. So I put it in elf. And again, the first thing that was shocking compared to all the other problems, that elf was just like, no, this is terrible. Like black just doesn't have a good
Anything?
move here. So, but elf likes this one.
Okay. So that was like your move then?
Yeah, and notice it is a little bit bigger. If we just play here, right, we're really not making enough space for else. If we play at least this far, if white cuts, this is actually much better shape, right? Like in terms of our eye space.
Yeah.
But granted, we have, let's go back for a second. We kind of, if white blocks here, sorry,
Blocks.
wrong color stone.
Yeah.
If we can make another exchange like this,
Hey, that looks pretty good.
hey, maybe that's a nice way. We just plunk right down and force our way into a base. It's a real ugly base. We can still be attacked. There's still this defect.
Oh.
But again, these two, if white comes in here, then these two exchanges are actually really good for us,
Okay.
right? Those are helpful exchanges.
For black.
For black, yeah, we want like it's much better if white peeps here, right? To already have 2 more stones over here for us, right? That gives it an easier time to deal with this. So
So jump in there and get those 2 stones in place before you start fighting.
see if we can just plunk down and settle it immediately, and that's elf's best idea in this position. And that way, if white allows us to do this, later on when it comes time to work over here, we can actually prevent white from building up 30 points on the side.
Okay.
So this is more of elf's idea. It's very direct, right? This is very blunt, very direct. And human players really don't like these armpit hits, right? These are fairly new to go in the last really 5 years. But they've certainly been spurned on by AI, and we see them a lot more now. A lot more of these armpits and attachments in the third line, just to immediately say, no, I want a base here, I'm digging in.
Yeah. And you helped pioneer the idea of armpit hits.
Oh, it wasn't. I mean, I think every Go player eventually just comes up with the idea of it's an armpit hit, like on their own. Like, they don't need me to tell them. If they heard shoulder hit, they understand armpits.
Makes sense.
But anyway, these are much more prevalent now and seen as a very useful strategy. These very blunt third line, I make base here now, grog caveman moves.
So people didn't like how direct they were before?
Well, it's just bad shape, right? And in this position, black still owes a move, right?
Okay.
You didn't really accomplish anything. And so the idea is, why not just play here and not owe anything? Well, from the AIs, and even from human players just before the AIs, they started realizing, no, actually, this 1 extra space that we get, even if we owe an extra move, I want that 1 extra line. Like, that's actually worth it to have a slight minus in terms of shape. Plus the added benefit, it really helps provoke a reaction. So if you're planning on Tanukiing anyway, Sente keeps getting valued higher and higher, especially if you're comparing it to what Elf thinks.
Yeah.
So being able to play this, even if your shape is crap, it's helpful. It's still helpful, and it allows you to Tanuki or do something else. And so you see a lot more of these very blunt exchanges, especially third line attachments and armpits. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Board 3, I think this is my favorite board.
Awesome. It's the one I think we spent the most time on.
Good. Straighten it out a little bit. Ugh.
Must be interesting.
All right, so tell me what's going on this board.
We have like a weakness in this black group. This is like weirdly like it looks almost like it's safe because it like has room to run in it. But we analyzed a different variant too. We also analyzed it where the 3 white stones were like
Yeah, we screwed
went
that up.
space over. So it was
Yeah, so that was...
our analysis is a little weird.
You guys had a nice tangent for 15 minutes of analyzing a totally different problem.
Yeah, we were thinking about trying to cut, connect underneath, run out here, maybe even tanukiing like here or something, and letting white do like a plane here sort of thing where we like walk out. The thing we were doing last was we were like trying to analyze this weakness, like how we wanted to manage it, because it seems like white can like cut it pretty easily.
Can white cut right now?
We don't know. We
think so.
didn't analyze it that far.
Okay, so this should be about a 5-second read.
Can white cut it right now?
Can white cut right now?
It
No.
seems doubtful.
Well, what's the pattern?
If it was white's move, if
Yep.
white cut, black could still,
Push, block, cut,
yes.
Atari?
Yeah,
white ones, net. Good.
Okay, yeah.
It's a net.
we have a second left over.
That's right.
Just in time.
So that cut, yeah, it's a weakness, but it's not able to take advantage of at least one other move. And even if white gets another move, we might actually be able to run out to a ladder anyway. So keep that in mind.
Yeah.
So not a real weakness yet, but it is a weakness that white will take advantage of if white gets into trouble or needs to.
Yes, white has potential leverage there. If we get something going somewhere, that could be leveraged to.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After you moved it over, I was really kind of like attracted to doing this peep here, because it sort of mitigates that weakness. It makes this kind of like heavy looking.
It does, but it actually doesn't help us that much.
Help us.
We don't need this peep yet because
You might
Maybe
want to
play
peep on
here.
the other side.
yeah, it's probably it's more valuable to us on the other side. We don't want to play this peep if we don't have to. Can you imagine these two groups have 2 eyes and are permanently alive? Would you ever want to peep here?
No.
Definitely not, right? You'd actually much rather peep over here and take points this way.
Yeah.
So this kind of exchange, we don't want to make that exchange.
Yeah. Oh, I guess one of the Tanuki moves was like playing here.
Let's go take a big point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one feels.
See here. Cool. More ambitious. It's just kind of weak.
I think having some relationship to the corner is important.
Okay.
I think it's worth it. I think it's worth the move, but not the answer. Not even the elf answer. All right, so here's a new way to think about this. We're sort of in a running fight.
Yeah.
In a running fight, what's your objective?
Run and make profit.
Not really.
Kill.
Get to the center.
Not fall behind.
Not fall behind. And once we get in a position where we are ahead, you actually want to go on the counterattack.
Okay.
Interesting.
How do you do that?
One of the things I was looking at is like if you kind of come off the end here.
I think that's on.
But in this
pressure.
context, like you said, would coming off the end put you ahead enough that you could fight in here somewhere?
Yeah, so this is a very big move, this turn. It all but guarantees life for our group, and it actually threatens a pretty significant reduction on the corner. The question is, does this threaten to kill the corner? And if it does, then this move is great. And if it doesn't, then we better hope our opponent can't find an equally valuable move.
Yeah. That's why I was a little iffy on that.
I don't know.
So the answer is no, white can't be killed in the corner this way.
Okay.
Okay. A very big move, but not the right direction. All right, so if we're in a running fight and we're out ahead,
We want to get even more ahead, so we want to like play something
No,
right here.
we want to, you said counter.
I want to smack them on the head.
Oh my god.
You want to use your leverage and just whack them on the head. This is the human move. This is the move in the book. And it's not only just you're attacking white, it does have a weak relationship to us, so it does kind of help us. But also look at this now,
Yeah.
right? It actually helps unite that whole top side of the board into really big potential.
So it's kind of threatening white on the bottom side, but even if you lose that fight, you get a lot in the upper middle.
We just have to not lose it to the point where we die. As long as we don't die,
Oh, well.
this is a really valuable move to us. And again, the idea is if we are weak and our opponent's weak, everybody's fine. Right? And this is the easiest way to make white immediately weak.
So how did you decide that this group is ahead? Just because we're like a little bit out here? Or?
Yeah, we're one line further out.
Okay.
Yep.
Sure.
That's it. Now, when I was actually doing the problems in the book, I thought this was a better move.
Okay.
This was my move. partially because I thought we could get counterattacked because of this cutting weakness, and now we have this 3-space, knight jump here.
Yeah.
I'm looking at that and going, oh, that's a little bit too far. Let's just play here. Let's be reasonable. And if white wants to keep going into our neighborhood, this is actually just fine, right? I can either connect or even push again. Like, I'm still going to get what I want a little bit more safely. Maybe white feels a little more easy to be comforted, but that was my idea. The book was like, no, you can just be more severe. Elf did not like this direction of play. Like, it didn't think this move was terrible. Like, it was like, okay, that's fine. But it wasn't its top candidates for moves. Elf's idea was that I don't want that.
What?
Elf's going to peep this way. And white connects. Elf's next move is here.
Okay,
So
I
Elf has
sort of had that idea, but like totally wrong direction, I guess. That feels weird.
So Elf's feeling.
Decides it's
All right, now if white doesn't play somewhere else again, right? Now this becomes a really good move.
Okay.
Okay? If we just play this directly, white actually has too easy of a time. And so Elf would still likes this move, but it doesn't like it without gaining something over here and getting a little bit stronger over here first. This move, even though we're giving white quite a bit more strength, as long as we're going to fix it on this side, it's fine. Like, if we have this position, this peep is actually worth less than this peep now, right? At least locally to us. Perhaps to white later on, it does make invasions, but this is the weak side. This is the side we care more about. After this move, we can play things like this and almost have two eyes directly.
Really?
Crazy. All right, we play here. We have moves like this. We can even attach first.
Okay.
Right? And so the idea is we're recognizing that we're weak, but instead of continuing this running fight forever, we're
Just settling.
just clunk down. We're fine. Just hunker down, take a big point. Hunker down, take a big point.
It's kind of weird that the last two boards it seems to hunker down, and then the first board it was like, you can just run.
Well, the first board was still take a big point, though.
Yeah.
It was just on the other half of
Yeah.
the other half, the alternating move. Hunker down, take a big point. Hunker down, take a big point pattern. So anyway, this was quite interesting to me because, wow. If you're in a running fight, your intuition as a human, right, has to be get out in front and then counterattack. And Elf is just like, no, that's fine. You got enough there. It's solid. If white wants to keep running that way, you're totally fine with it. Like, white has nowhere to run to. That's useful for white.
So Elf's move was
To peep.
Peep and then take this side. And actually, I definitely want to bring this problem to you guys because in the in the answers, it also gives you the incorrect solutions. And one of the incorrect solutions, it says black must not play here
Okay.
because this is the wrong direction.
I
or
got that
playing
wrong.
the other move.
Well, it didn't include this peep first,
Yeah.
but still, humans insist this is a bad move. But this is the shape that Elf wants this game to go in.
Maybe it is the wrong direction, but Elf is strong enough to do.
I don't know anymore. Like, actually, the other secret to this lesson is none of you are going to learn anything from these four problems.
I feel like there's small things we learn, like, you want to make sure you peep to reinforce.
I know, but what's the answer? Is it the human move or the Elf move? I only ran Elf for 100,000 variation of range board.
Yeah, see if you ran it for
Who knows?
Elf at infinity.
Yeah. Well,
It's like the hoping problem. Who knows if you've done two more iterations?
that's right.
Go eventually halts.
Actually, in theory. All right, this problem, I know I said the last board was my favorite problem, that's because it's cleaner. This board was my favorite problem because of the result between the book and the robot. So tell me about this board.
Now black's real weak in the upper left corner.
Black has a smattering of shit against the wall up there. Just
It's not even up against the wall, it's floating free.
there's a wall. There's some rubbing up against on it.
There's like
Up against the white.
Oh, go against the white wall, yeah. All right, so we got that going on. What else?
The lower right corner is not quite entirely secured yet. Seems like
It's
there's some.
secure enough.
Yeah.
Black is fine.
Yeah.
If black wants to invade over there, then maybe we can run into a little bit. We'd like to be a little bit thicker, a little bit stronger, but as it is, the shape is fine.
The lower left corner has some kind of amusing possibilities, but
Yeah, what's in
I'm
it?
afraid that if I saw that come up in my game, I would, you're being bedazzled and find something real.
Oh, but there's we can just cut directly, right?
Yeah.
Like cutting just works. What does black get if black cuts?
I will go to the corner.
Yeah, black can take the whole corner, and white will.
Get a little bit of this side.
Yeah, we'll finish the wall there. So this is a very big move, right?
Okay.
Sort of.
Very big or intermediate big?
I mean,
Big enough.
it's worth. Let's say it's worth quite a few points, right? That cut is large in terms of raw points. Either player can take the corner at this stage of the game. That's a big move. If we're at move, what do you think this is? 3, 6, 7, 11, 14, 15. A move like 35.
Okay.
Well, would cutting there be bigger than, say, doing this?
Well, we're going to talk about it.
Okay.
Because what else you got for moves here? What are other?
Something to put pressure on this white stone or support these
Yeah,
black stones.
we have the scattering, the splatter up there, and we have a lone white stone,
Almost lone black stone.
almost a lone black stone.
So we could just like lean on that.
So Tim, that's what the book calls the only move.
We did it.
This is the only move.
Oh, all right.
The only move.
I'm at least equivalent to a human.
That's right. That's great.
So this really safe move is the move, and we just don't do anything about the black stones.
We can't really turn those into anything worth it.
Okay.
Like
just
they're actually not worth it.
They're just
they can be useful. We might still find a way to use them.
okay.
But how are you going to take that splatter and turn it into value for you?
It feels difficult for sure.
I mean, like actually, in terms of the splatter, these two are still kind of useless in terms of points, but we could even play a sequence like this and just make a little tiny base here and make, a few points and reduce our opponent. Like, that would be more worth it than doing anything over here.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
But the book likes this one. And the reason, you can start to see why after you think about it. This is white all by himself. We have a black stone that can easily also end up all by itself. And if white is able to cut this stone off, this is substantial.
Yeah, that's
Uniting a weak stone into a larger territory is worth a lot.
okay.
So the book says, nope, let's cut out an end to that right now. Some possibilities, like could even just dodge, or maybe make this exchange first and then dodge. It's kind of similar. Depending on what white wants. White has some options, but basically you end up with this running fight where everyone kind of lives over here and no one gets anything.
Okay.
But that's a lot better, right, than your opponent attacking your splatter and making 30 points if you don't defend it.
Okay.
So very big move.
But Elf refutes it.
Elf doesn't like it. It's not even in like the top 10.
Really?
Yeah, it's way down the list, like way, way down.
So Elf thinks it has at least 10 better responses to this.
Elf, I think, and so based on what I saw of the next, 10, 12, how many ever responses, it's got something an entirely different feeling about weakness on this board. And I think here as a corollary, I think Elf thinks this stone is actually fine, or at least fine enough. And we can try out some sequences here. If you just push up here, black might even turn once and then push up. I'm not quite sure the order. Just push up again. You can actually see that black can run out, right? Like if we do that. If we do something more severe, this cut is actually kind of hard to deal with, right? Like, what do you do as white?
I want to.
Well, which side is bigger?
Well, I mean, you probably play that.
Okay.
All right, but this doesn't really kill us, like black is still
Okay, yeah.
fine, right? We Atari connect and we're still out. So I think even though white is weak here and black is weak here, it's not like either person can kill the other one. Like, and it's one of those situations like no one can hurt the other one. If you're both weak, you're both fine. And that's kind of what I think it thinks the situation is. Or at least how it's kind of concluded this, is that there's just nothing there. Like, neither player can hurt the other one. So it's looking for the next biggest weakness on the board, or looking at the next thing it could possibly attack or develop into, or your opponent develop into something big.
And that's the bottom right then?
It is not the bottom right.
Okay.
Bottom left.
It is the bottom left.
If this was a big move for black, presumably it may also be a big move for white.
But before black plays this,
Yeah,
if black plays this, black gets points, but white actually gets settled.
yeah.
Elf is looking at this and going, this is attackable.
Yeah.
Really?
Like go right here or something.
This is, Elf likes like anything over here.
Yeah.
Like you like these like 12 spaces are all great. Like very high winning percentage moves. Like I'm quite sure it's like 99% or not, but like very high winning percentage.
Really?
Maybe it was probably like I don't know. Someone with the computer go put it again.
I guess you still have to like fix that weakness.
This was the favorite one. Yeah. So the issue is that if white takes time to fix the weakness now, well, how did this go
It's,
for white?
I mean,
White
there's
has
a lot of
regrets.
space.
White actually doesn't have anything yet. White's actually split and under attack. So white still has to keep playing here. And if we try moves that, just, I'll say, things like this. And let's say, white comes in here and, oops. Maybe even black takes this type of thing, or even before connecting. Like, black's going to reduce this from this side until the last moment where I'm going to get all these free exchanges, and then, oh yeah, by the way, we're going to come back and cut now. Right? This sort of sequence where you're going to over-concentrate your opponent and then force them to defend a cut in the direction they can't, afford to lose. And so this is more of Elf's logic, is going, this is not, oops, let me get these stones in the right place. Here, and here. This is weak. My opponent's going to have to respond to this for a while, otherwise split and black gets all of this. And if I can over-concentrate even if my opponent can defend against every move, I'm going to get a bunch of good exchanges, and then I always have this in my back pocket, right? So once my opponent spends all these moves defending the nest egg, you just take the egg away. And therefore white gets nothing, or maybe 5 things.
This is likely for something like a pro to see this and find this in a game naturally, or is this like?
Yeah, this would be on a pro's radar too.
Okay.
Yeah, this type of shoulder hit, this is actually not that uncommon of a Sibicky type shape. And if, for all you jump in the middle of the elephant eye people, this is a very good result for black. Are you going to play here or play here?
That feels like a lot of weaknesses.
Oh yeah, because if you play here, you just lost go for the night.
So, but like if you extend down, it feels just like,
Oh, it feels so bad, doesn't it?
yeah, you just feel so over-concentrated.
Oh, well look, you have to extend again. Are you playing here again?
Yeah. I guess we just that white
Yeah.
stone goodbye on the right.
And here's the thing. I don't think you can play this move again anymore. I think black you have 4 liberties to let me make sure this is right. Here, if you cut, I don't believe this works. Let's play it out for everyone. All right, because you play there.
4 to 5.
It's 4 to 5. And I'm just making sure black doesn't have an Atari over here. That's kind of a surprise. So if you play there 3, 3, 4, 4. Okay, yeah, you're fine. All right, so you can't cut directly here anymore. But if we have this, I fully suspect we can play here.
Because we can't drop down. That's 3 to 2.
5, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3 to 5.
Oh,
Turn. You just can't.
okay.
3 to 5. So if we're allowed to cut white this way, remember that nest egg?
Now we just burn it.
Yeah, well, we don't take it, we don't get to cut it, we don't get to cut it here now, we clamp it here.
Okay. Cool.
And we still have the situation here or here, we're actually strong enough to play this one, where you're gonna defend again as white? Are you gonna defend again as white? In this case, probably not, but
points aside.
yeah, this is real small. real small. And so far, black still has a, the last moves black will probably Tanuki not play right away, but they should be black's right at some point. So, oh man. Be able to make sure white gets nothing in the corner, get a whole new structure on the outside, that's great.
Did you find the robot or the human move?
When I was looking at this problem,
Yeah.
I don't remember what I did. I did something over here though.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to play. I don't think I shouldered it. I think, I really don't, I don't remember. I don't I did the time. So, yeah, just Elf just looks at that and go, I know, again, it's my interpretation that Elf goes, there's nothing there for nobody. There's nothing, that's not the most interesting part of the board anymore. Which is weird, because there's a lot of situations where there's nothing there for nobody, and it's the most interesting part of the board there because, either one of the players will die. There's also uninteresting parts where there's nothing there and neither player can die.
Okay.
So yeah, those were 4 problems that I don't know if they actually teach you guys anything about Go. That's still my fear. Did you think you learned anything from
I think
these?
I might have learned some small things, but
I didn't know the heuristic of like getting ahead and then counterattack.
Yeah, capping is
didn't know
is
that.
always, not always, but
staying or something like that.
yeah, if you can get ahead, cap. If you're in a running fight, run faster and then hit him on the head. Of course, if you run so far out that both of the sticks or groups can easily make 2 eyes, then hitting on the head is not really that valuable anymore. But until those groups are safe, yeah, preventing them from running to the center is often a very large move.
Yeah, the one proverb that I know about running is always take a friend.
It's better to die as 2 stones than 1.
Well, no. The idea is if you're gonna run, you want to make sure your opponent also has a group running.
I see. The friend is your opponent.
Yeah.
I see. That makes more sense.
Yeah.
See, the stones on the board are my friends.
So I guess for you, if you're gonna run, take a foe then.
That's right, take a foe. All right.
Well, that's like jumping off the cliff and hanging on deer.
It's definitely interesting to like analyze some of these fights too, because as like a Q level player, I'll sort of be like, okay, I can kind of play here or here, and it kind of still looks like a middle game, but I wouldn't be able to drill down this far to be like, all right, I could make like this precise of an attack.
Yeah. One other addendum I'll add to this shape. If you think like Elf, white is actually attackable, and white is unrelenting, it doesn't want to give up anything, it wants to fight. These 2 stones actually over here become useful again, right? Because if you end up in a running fight this way, these bad exchanges, even though they don't get you anything, they're still stones on the board that your opponent has to run into at some point.
They might be ladder breakers.
That could be, well, in this position, they're not probably the ladder breakers going that way.
Like more like a net.
But more like a net kind of situation, especially if you have time to take an Atari here. And you can imagine a black stick running this way and a white stick running here. White has a lot more work to do to fight through those to make a connection. So even those garbage splatter stones,
It looks so bad.
they're like, the thing is, they're not really useful, but they're not really bad either,
Okay.
right? Because look at the number of stones in this case. Whoops, not this one's like.
It's 3 to like 6.
If we assume these 2 are kind of exchanged,
Yeah.
yeah, it's 3 to 6. No, 3 to 5. Sorry, 3 to 5. If white plays 1 more, it's 3 to 6.
Okay.
So, it's kind of like,
We were expecting to get trash if we play away twice.
I mean, how much were you expecting to do over here as black right now?
I don't know.
Yeah, maybe more than that. Maybe these are bad. It could have been better.
I don't know.
Yeah, so actually with this wall here, I'm like, I just want a stone there. That's beautiful. Yeah, so the splatter stones are kind of bad in this position.
Okay.
there are positions where they're fine. When your opponent's really strong anyway, they're fine.
I don't know. Things like that, I feel like I would play more of like out of curiosity than actually know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay. Anyway.
Attacking that feels so weird though, because that wasn't even on my radar.
Yeah, that was the really big surprise when I put it in elf. I'm like, what? It's like, I gotta bring this into you guys.
Well, some of this is like exploring the logic. And you go, okay, well, here's a problem, or here's a situation I've never seen before, never even got close to looking at anything like this, and then what? And then, yeah, the idea of, well, maybe this is a little looser, maybe these don't matter, and kind of taking a broader look at things.
Before I play this move, but I think this is better. I suspect this is better. And fight a co-type of thing down here. Because you have this move.
Okay.
Yeah.
Play here? Play here.
I'm going to play
feel
the
like
first
they're
one,
the
but
same.
I'm pretty sure that's going to lead to a KO.
If you play here, this is co immediately.
Okay.
And I'm not, I don't know. Again, I didn't remember or even necessarily look at all these things that Elf would do in these situations, and I certainly didn't run them for 100,000 moves for all these other positions. But man, can you imagine? Like, just like you end up with a co for life in this whole area, like
Yeah.
like in a kind of disturbing way. It doesn't quite look like Black can win the co threat. Looks like there's a couple too many defects, or win the co-fight, but
Too many co-threats.
but if Black does win the co-fight, oh man, this group is still needing another move to fix or two. So
Attacking that group feels so weird, but I guess it works.
man, yeah, it does. But
This is like the point where if I hear a robot does a certain move, I just go like, oh, I guess it's just bigger. Maybe that's the answer, right? I don't know.
yeah, that's a very nice move. Okay, all right, that's
Commit
enough
to memory,
go.
everybody.
Yeah,
If you see this board position, boom,
there
immediately.
you go. You know what to do.
Thanks.
Thank you, dude.
Yeah, you're welcome, guys.